this video to bring together the Cestui Que Act of 1666 and the Habeas Corpus. Just something I thought about. It came to me earlier today. I actually made a video about this earlier, but I don't think I did it justice, so I thought I'd do it over. I had a long day, so I actually went to Georgia Archives today because I wanted to get a certified copy of the Bill of Rights. So I went and got that. I haven't obtained it. I paid for it, so they're gonna mail it to me. But keep in mind, this is acts of the English Parliament, Cestui Que Act, and don't be alarmed because it says legislation governed of the UK. This still applies in America as well. I'm going to prove that real quick before I get started, because you see the Social Security Administration deals with this as well. I'm gonna read it first. I'm gonna read parts of it. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Well, maybe I will, only because, and kind of work with me because they got some words that are misspelled in here, and I think they did it on purpose. Keep in mind this was of 1666. They might have spelled words differently back then. Possibly, maybe so, maybe not. Like the word proof, maybe it was spelled like that back then. They kind of changed it up, regress. See what I'm saying? These different words they use. It could be coincidental, could not be. I don't know, but I'm going to let my conscience be my guide while I go over this. So y'all just kind of work with me. An act for redress of inconveniences by want of proof of deceases of persons beyond the sea, or absenting themselves upon whose lives estates do depend. Do seems like it was done on purpose too. Do depend. I'm thinking about a John Doe, maybe the all caps name. Let's play with it for a hot second. I like doing stuff like this to kind of, just in case. Department of Energy. That's something else. A fictitious name, John Doe. It's the only thing I can find on here. Subpoena of unknown defendant lawsuit. Yep. A Doe subpoena is a subpoena that seeks the identity of an unknown defendant. Doe definition. Any pronghorn, including fong. I'm sure that's not what we're looking for. Doe. Department of Energy. See also important agency section. I don't think that has to do with this because Department of Energy, I don't think that department was created when this was written. Okay, this was written in 1666. So, anyway, let's move forward. I don't want to, drag this out because I want to get to the actual point of why I'm trying to bring them together. Recital that Cestui Que have gone beyond sea, that the reversioners cannot find out whether they are alive or dead, whereas diverse lords of manors and others have granted estates by lease for one or more life or lives, or else for years, I suppose that's whatever, determinable upon one or more life or lives, and it has often happened that such person or persons whose life or lives such estate life or lives such estate, or probably lives such estate have been granted have gone beyond the sea, or so absented themselves for many years that the lessers or reversioners cannot find out whether such person or persons be alive or dead, by reason whereof such lessers or reversioners have been held out of possession of their tenements for many years after all the lives upon which such estates depend are dead, in regards that the lessors and reversioners, when they have brought action for the recovery of their tenements, have been put upon it to prove the death of their tenants, when it is almost impossible for them to discover the same, for remedy of which mischief so frequently happen to such leasers or reversioners. I'm trying my best to read this with these typos, so I'm working it like that. So y'all just got to work with me too. Okay, so we know about the Cestui Que trust. Okay, the Cestui Que trust, we know that's what the all caps name is. It's connected to the trust. It is the trust. Just to kind of bring that, I've looked in the Black's Law Dictionary. It say he who lives. Let's see, he who lives. Cestui Que means he who lives. The legal term describes the person who's the beneficiary and has rights to property in an estate. Okay, Cestui Que V or Vi, whatever I say V anyway, is often used today in life and health insurance policies, where instead of the beneficiary it refers to the insured. Okay, let's go in the Black's Law Dictionary. Black's Law Dictionary. This is 2nd edition right here. He whose life is the measure of the duration of an estate. Say, the person for whose life any lands, tenements, or hereditaments are held. Cestui Que, inheritor. I'm probably chopping that word up big time. I ain't finna read that. That's probably some more Latin. I don't know what it means. Okay, he who would have been heir to the father of the deceased shall also be heir of the son. Okay, sure that's the reference right there. In abbreviated form of the Latin word confer means compare. Let me see what else I need to read. Directs the reader's attention to another part of the work, to another volume, case, etc., where extracted. I don't think this is what. Anyway, I read the actual meaning of it right here. These are the definitions. These are citations that I'm reading right here. I don't need to read the citations. I'm trying to get the actual definition so y'all get a clearer understanding in case you don't know what it actually means. He who has a right to a beneficial interest in and out of an estate, the legal title to which is vested in another. This is also what Black's Law Dictionary, 2nd edition, and I guess these are the citations. Let's see, a person who possesses equitable right to property and receives the rents, issues, and profits thereof. Okay, the legal estate of which is vested in a trustee. Okay, these are the public officials. They're supposed to be actually acting as trustee until you reach the age of majority, and then you're supposed to benefit from it. Okay, you're supposed to be the beneficiary of it. Cestui Que V trust, equitable right. When you're talking about equity, you're talking about legal living men and women in their property. Okay, equitable right, just, comfortable. Let's see, conformable. Sorry about that. Just, conformable to the principle of natural justice and right, just, fair, and right, in consideration of the facts and circumstances of the individual case. Existing in equity, available and sustainable only in equity, or only upon the rules of odd principle of equity. Anyway, y'all know that when you're dealing with trust, you're dealing with equity. Okay, when you're dealing with trust law, you're dealing with equity. So you can take that where you want to take it. So got the trust law. Let's see. Got the Cestui Que trust. That's the definition for it in the Black's Law Dictionary, 2nd edition. I actually have that PDF, the PDF as well in my email. So, but I'm not trying to go there right now. I'd rather use the internet version just to kind of, for the sake of time. Let's see. But anyway, most of you know what it means, what the Cestui Que v. trust is. Okay, Cestui Que trust. Cestui Que remaining beyond sea for 7 years, altogether, and no proof of their lives, judge in action to direct a verdict as though Cestui Que were dead. So in many cases, you know their name in all caps. It represents death. It is a fictitious entity. You don't have any. You should have something on the record proving that you're like. It makes sense. Is the reason why we use affidavits as well. You know what I'm saying? Only a living man can do an affidavit. You know, only a living man can give testimony under oath. You know, only a living man can say, for instance, do what we talking about, a writ of habeas corpus, because you're talking about the body. Bring forth the body. That's what habeas corpus means. Bring forth the body. And a legal fiction does not have a body. It can do no thing. Okay, it can do no thing. It needs you or some living man or woman to operate, to use that thing in order for it to be, to prove that there is any life there at all. If such person or persons for whose life or lives such a state have been or shall be granted as foresaid, shall remain beyond the sea or elsewhere, absent themselves. You ain't got to be dead. You can just be absent. You don't know anybody. You got no proof. We don't know who you are. We don't know where you at. Okay, absent themselves in this realm by the space of 7 years together, and no sufficient and evident proof be made of the lives of such person or persons respectively in any action commenced for recovery of such tenements by the lessors or revisers. In every such case, the person or persons upon whose life or lives such estate depended shall be accounted as naturally dead. See how they keep saying such case? Person or persons respectfully recovering such tenements. Let's see. Here we go. In Ramos. Let's see. Where's the other spot I saw? In any action. That's when you're talking about a court case. That's an action. Okay. In any action commenced in recovery of such tenements by the lessor or revisers. In every such case, the person or persons upon whose life or lives such estate dependent shall be accounted as naturally dead. There's no proof at all that you're even alive. First thing you need to do is present that type of proof. It's always good to have that proof on the record. If you don't have no proof on the record, then you can easily get railroaded, because you're going to be according to the record, according to what's been presented before the courts. This is going to be your status. And in every action, there they go to word again, every action brought for the recovery of the said tenement by the lessor or reversers, their heirs or assignees, the judges before them, before whom such action, there it is again, shall direct the jury to give their verdict as if the person so remained beyond the seas or otherwise absent themselves were dead. That's what kind of verdict they're gonna give. There's no proof that you're alive. Okay. That's how they're gonna treat you. You're gonna keep that same body attachment to that all caps name, which you only see all caps name on graves, on tombstones, on your driver's license, on your birth certificate. In some cases, certificate of live birth, whichever one. Sometimes they still got them on all caps. Whether you get the long form or short form, a lot of them still have all caps name on there. Social Security card, all caps name. Okay. It basically represents not only it's a legal name, it's an entity, a vessel that you can be using for your benefit as a business entity, but you also have to reckon you don't want your body attached to it in any way, basically if it's not going to work for your advantage. So if it's not going to work to your advantage, you might want to go ahead and consider this. Now, if the supposed dead man proved to be alive, then the title is revested. Action for mean profits with interest. What do they mean by revested? Okay, let's find out. Revested, to vest again or anew. Okay, let's go a little deeper with that. Revest, Black's Law Dictionary. To vest again. They're still using the same damn word to define the word. I hate when I see shit like that. This a season is said to revest where let me just back up. Don't use the same damn word that defined it. Okay, let's try something else. Here we go. Revest means to give back ownership or control of something or something to its previous owner. It's like putting on a piece of clothing again, but instead of clothing, it's the right to own or control something. For example, if someone sells their house but then buys it back later, they have revested the title to the house. Okay, makes sense? That's a clear definition. I like that definition. Okay, let's go back. Revested, that means giving back to you. Okay. With interest, right here, with interest. Provided always that if any person or persons shall be evicted out of any lands or tenements by virtue of this act, and afterwards, if such person or persons upon whose life or lives such estate or estates depend shall return again from beyond the seas, or shall on proof in any action to be brought before recovery of the same, to be made appeared to be living, or to have been living at the time of the eviction, that then and from thenceforth the tenant or leasee who was outed of the same, his or their executors, administrators, or leasing or signers shall or may re-enter, repossess, may re-enter, repossess, have hold and enjoy the said land or tenements in his or their former estate, for and during the life or lives of, or so long term as the said person or persons upon whose life or lives the said estate or estates depend shall be living, and also shall upon action or actions to be brought by him or them against the lesser or revisors or tenants in possession or other persons respectively, which since the time of the said eviction receive the profits of the said land and tenements, recover for damages. Say receive the profits, eviction, receive the profits, past tense, the profits of the said lands and tenements, recover for damages the full profits of the said lands and tenements, respectively, with lawful interest for and from the time that he or they were outed of the said land and tenements, and kept and held out of the same by the said lesser reversioners or reversioners, tenants or other persons who after the said eviction receive the profits of the said lands or tenements, or any of them respectively, as well in the case with when the said person or persons upon whose life or lives such estate or estates did depend are or shall be dead at the time of bringing of the said action or actions, as if the said person or persons were then living. That long drawn out ass sentence. But anyway, they basically letting you know once you bring proof, provide some proof in any action be brought to be recovered in the same, and you receive it back with interest. Okay, so now with that being said, I'm gonna show you right here where the Social Security Administration, they do the same thing. Okay, here we go. Let's see, presumption of death. What in the world are they doing with it? Where they get this from? I know I could have sworn I bookmarked this. Guess I didn't. Let me see. I'll come on out of there. Here we go. Let me go to home right here. Rebuttal. Presumption of death. That's their PALMS manual. They got a PALMS manual. Here it is. Social Security Administration. Presumption of death of a missing person. I ain't looking for that one. I'm looking for the rebuttal. Well, I can start off with this one here, because it's going to lead to it anyway. Policy of presumption of death of a missing person. This is the Social Security Administration. All these companies do this, okay? Presumption of death of a missing person. When circumstantial evidence does not establish the fact of death as the inevitable conclusion, consider presumption of death after 7 years have elapsed since the disappearance. Okay, say make a claim immediately making a claim immediately if an applicant has not already filed one. Take the claim prior to the end of 7 years, even if we will disallow a claim because the presumption of death has not yet been made. So this is basically when they want to prove that, basically kind of go with the presumption. Okay, presumption is after 7 years they're gonna presume you're dead. So let me I want to get to the next part. The part where you can prove that you are still alive. Rebuttal of presumption of death. That's what I should have put in the Google search. That's what I normally do. Okay. Rebuttal of presumption of death. I used to know this their code by heart, because I was studying this back in 2020. And presumption of death made based on rebuttal of presumption of death. This is part of it, but authenticated U.S. government information. I can use this here. But you'll find the same stuff, and it's on the Social Security Administration website. So I'm gonna make this bigger so y'all can see it. Okay, rebuttal of presumption of death. Social Security Administration. You can look that up right just like that, and you'll find it on their website. That's the little code anyway. The presumption of death made based on 404.721b can be rebutted by evidence that establishes that the person is still alive or explains the individual's absence in a manner consistent with continued life rather than death. See, same thing. When evidence of a marriage is required, let's see, evidence of a valid, but anyway, evidence and a claim for surviving child's benefits showing that the worker or wages posted, this is an example right here, should the worker left the family home. Okay, those are just examples. But basically, I'm letting you know that as you see that the Social Security Administration works with the presumption of death too. They work with the Cestui Que Act of 1666 as well. Okay, so I just wanted to kind of show that part to y'all. I'm not going to drag this out. Let me see who else is doing this. As a matter of fact, let's see if let's see Federal Reserve Bank. Let's see if they do it. That's interesting. I'm going to have to click on that at some point. Let me see. Rebuttal of presumption of. The U.S. Department of Labor. Total disability due to. Nope. Due to. Or death due to. No, that's not it. Let's see. Status missing person. Unified court system. Death or other status of a missing person. Presumed death. A written finding of presumed death may be made by any person authorized to make such finding in a federal missing person. It's prima facie. I'm trying to see if the Federal Reserve banks. Well, I should be like Federal Reserve Act or something like that. Let me see. Why am I skipping this? This is an actual government website. Let me click on this. Get out the damn way. Let me see. Say Code of Regulations. They do it as well. Presumption of rebuttal of presumption of death. Presumption of death made based on. And we just saw that same code on the Social Security Administration can be rebutted by evidence that establishes that a person is still alive or explains the individual's absence in a manner consistent with continued life rather than death. Okay, I'm bringing this to. I'm really trying to helping y'all understand that all of these companies, regardless of the fact that this was actually started in this here website. This is not started in America, but it was adopted by all across the world. So you understand that. I can close that out now. I can close that out too. So I'm just helping you understand that all of them adopted this. They do this all around the world. Social Security Administration. You see that what's this website again? Code of Federal Regulations, National Archives. I was actually there today. National Archives here in Georgia. It's right next door to Georgia Archives. But they have it there. Let's see. Death or other status of a missing person. Person of death. I probably need to make. I'm just thinking out loud, y'all. I probably need to go there and give me a certified copy of this. Sometime give me an appointment so I can go there and pay them a visit. Anyway, as you see, it's in the federal codes as well. Cornell law, we use that all the time. Same thing, same codes. See that? Let's see. Right here, same code. Well, not same code, but same thing. I'm gonna click on that in a minute too with the Treasury Department. Release of detention of pending. Release and detention pending judicial proceedings. Let me see. Criminal cases. It's not talking about no presumption of death though. Let me see. That's not talking about what it's. No, it's not talking about it. Nope, it's going out of there. Cestui Que, absentee, that's Delaware. Presumed decedent's right. Absentee, presumed decedent. See right here? In case the presumption of death is thereafter rebutted by adequate proof that the presumed decedent is in fact alive, the decree is vacated. Okay? See, y'all know decree. The decree is vacated. Okay? Federal rules of evidence. In case a state law governs the effective presumption regarding claim of defense in law. I have to open that one up. Let's see what it's gonna say. May not be talking about what we talking about. Nah, that's a whole damn. Anyway, I think I made the point with that part. All these states have done it. Even here in Georgia, they did it here in Georgia as well. Presumption of rebuttal of presumption of death, OCGA. Presumption of SC probable SC on the place of domicile, continued period of 4 years shall be presumed to have died, provided, however, that such presumption of death may be rebutted by proof. The date of death is presumed to be the end of 4 years. It's 4 years here in Georgia. Some states I've also read it was 5 years, unless it is proved by a preponderance of evidence that the death occurred earlier. Okay, that is missing person. The administrator say presumption or proof of death. This is where say presumption that a missing person decedent other than a deceased individual. Now this is if they're proving that somebody's actually, dead or whatever, and then you can actually prove that they're actually alive. Presumption of missing person. Now here we go. 9(1) then 2. Where's 2? Content publication. Let's see. Letters upon proof is alive. Here it is. Right here. Upon petition of the missing person. Keep in mind now, this is why I'm going to bring it together with the habeas corpus. Upon petition of the missing person, the missing individual, the probate court shall revoke the letters of administration. This is why I'm bringing it together, y'all. A habeas corpus, you need a petition. You got to petition the probate judge. Probate court shall revoke the letters of administration or letters testamentary at any time on due and satisfactory proof that the missing individual is in fact alive. After such revocation, see, I've never wrote anything to any probate court, to any probate judge anywhere. Never. I've always dealt with these traffic courts. I've always dealt with the superior court. And I know probate court and superior court are not the same. Otherwise, they wouldn't have two different names. I was always told years ago that superior court and probate court are the same, and they are not. They got different set of judges for each one. Okay. Upon petition of the missing individual, the probate court shall revoke the letters of administration or letters testamentary at any time on due and satisfactory proof that the missing individual is in fact alive. Okay? After such revocation, all powers of the personal representative shall cease. Right here. Shall cease, but all receipts or disbursements of assets or other acts previously done by the personal representative shall remain valid. So you can't be like, now you're gonna try to punish them for doing what they were doing while you was lost. They did what they did. You did it. You got to suffer that L because you should have handled your business when you reached the age of majority, when you supposed to act on what you're supposed to act on. And the personal representative shall settle the account for the administration to the time of such revocation and shall transfer all assets remaining to the missing individual or such individual's duly authorized agent or attorney. What probate court? Where's the probate court in the county where you were born at? Where was the Cestui Que trust created? This is something that just came to me today, y'all. Where was the Cestui Que trust created? What county? Where was it? Where were you born? Where was it? Now, you just thought of that in your head. Now, ask yourself, who's the I will look for the senior probate judge. Who's the probate judge in that county? The senior probate judge. You want to look at the top judge. That's who you need to send in your petition to. And of course, your petition. Here we go. Let's go back to habeas corpus. Where is that? Let's see. I'm gonna click this. Who may seek a writ? Keep in mind, here's the habeas corpus right here. Habeas corpus. Who may seek a writ? Any person restrained of his liberty under any pretext whatsoever. Remember, I keep putting emphasis on that. You kept out of your stuff, man. They've been administering your stuff the whole time. You ain't had no access to it. You restrained of your liberty. It say under any pretext whatsoever, except under the sentence of a state. We ain't talking about that. We ain't under no sentence. You free. Okay. Now a petition. Now let's go back. Remember the petition. When they talk about a petition, the contents of a petition. Application for a writ of habeas corpus shall be a petition in writing signed by the applicant, his attorney or agent. I ain't getting no attorney, or some other person on his behalf, and shall state the name and description of the person whose liberty is being restrained. That would be me. The person restraining it, that'd be them. The mode of restraint, basically, I'd be like pursuant to the Cestui Que Act. The Cestui Que Act, presumption of death act. What is the death act? There's something called the death act as well. Y'all might want to look into that too. I'm not gonna look that up right now because this video is already too damn long. And the place of detention as nearly as practicable. Okay. And I would mention that the trust was created in that county, because that's where and I will have the certificate of live birth to attach to it as Exhibit A, because it has the county's name on there. It has the state and the county's name written on there where you were born. Okay, this is where it was actually created, and that there's a trust that a Cestui Que trust that you're supposed to benefit from, and you don't have access to it. Okay, let's see the cause or pretense of the restraint, basically because you had made the claim. And see, if the restraint and there was no proof that you was alive. Okay, you had no proof that you were alive. You had not petitioned. You hadn't followed the rules. If you hadn't followed the procedure that was laid out for me to do that. Say if the restraint on the pretext is a legal process. Say if the restraint is under a legal the pretext of legal process, a copy of the process. You're talking about some kind of court order or something. You don't need that, because that's not what it's going to be. Let's see. A distinct averment or alleged illegality in the restraint of any other a distinct averment of the alleged illegality in the restraint, or of any other reason why the writ of habeas corpus is sought. See, it's not an actual restraint. It is a restraint, but it's really because you didn't do what you're supposed to be doing. Okay? Any other reason why the writ, why you seeking it. Okay? And then you're just gonna pray your prayer for the writ of habeas corpus. You're gonna ask him for it. A prayer is a request. Okay? Some of y'all see the word prayer in a statute. Specific request for judgment relief and or damages at the conclusion of a complaint or petition. It's a prayer. Okay. Now, what was I? Okay. Now, remember I told y'all that it has to be, verification. The petition for the writ. The petition for the writ of habeas corpus must be verified by an oath. by the oath of the applicant. It's got to be sworn or affirmed under penalty of perjury, okay, or some other person on behalf of, you're gonna do it yourself, okay. So this is the odd that I came when it comes to proving that you are alive upon petition. It says that, and it says upon petition to probate. What does it say? Let me go back to that. Upon petition of a missing individual, the probate court shall revoke the letters. So who's supposed to revoke the letters other than probate? Them the one. That's who. The probate court. That's who deal with estates. That's who deal with estates. Who else don't deal? Who else dealing with your estate? Probate court deals with it. When you pass away, and your loved ones are, trying to prepare, trying to just, do the disbursement with your property and stuff like that. Where do they go? They go to probate court. They have to, the probate judge, and that's where you put your will at. If you have a will put in place, you're gonna take it to probate court. That's who deals with estates. Now, so if you are living, probate court shall revoke all letters of administration. Okay. Now, anyway, that's what I'm gonna do. I just thought I'd kind of bring that together, the Cestui Que Act with the habeas corpus. Okay, I just thought I'd bring that together. So that's just something that I thought I'd share because I came up with it and thought I'd make a video about it. Do what you're gonna do with it. I know what I'm gonna do with it. But anyway, if you haven't liked and subscribed, please go ahead and do so. I got more stuff that's coming. I'm not done. I got one that's probably being uploaded while I'm making this video. Actually, I know I just uploaded one. And I got another one I recorded earlier today too. So you're going to have about maybe 3 or 4 videos coming within the next 2 days. So I ain't done. By far. So y'all just keep your eyes peeled and make sure y'all are looking at these videos. Don't be calling my damn phone, y'all, and you won't watch the videos. Just because you got my cell phone number don't mean call me because you don't want to watch the video. So I see you dropping them videos and then you don't even watch the damn video. You want me to tell you what's in the video. I'm not going to do that, y'all. If I'm talking to y'all for free and ain't charging nobody nothing for my conversation, don't cheat me like that. At least do me the favor by giving me some playtime on YouTube. Because I want to get to a point where if I'm not charging y'all to talk to y'all for free, at least give me some playing time so YouTube will cut me a check for making these videos. Give me some playing time, people. Look out for me, brother. Look out for your brother. All right, y'all. I'm getting up out of here. M. Rose signing out.